The Antichrist is not a demon, but the most wicked human, who will be used by the devil to deceive humanity. In Syro-Aramaic, daggala, it is from this Syriac influence that the term Dajjal emerged in Islamic Arabic. The first teachings of the term Dajjal were likely from Christians, not Muslims.
Revelation 16:16. And he gathered them together into a place called in the Hebrew tongue Armageddon.
The reference to the name Armageddon, Mount Megiddo. Hebrew. Armageddon is related to Megiddo, Hebrew. Megiddo, or Megiddo, the site of significant battles to Kings 23:29-30, in the northwest of Palestine.
In his days Pharaoh Necho, king of Egypt, went up against the king of Assyria to the river Euphrates, and King Josiah went against him. And he slew him at Megiddo when he had seen him. 2 Kings 23:29.
Compare to,
in that day shall there be a great mourning in Jerusalem, as the mourning of Hadad-rimmon in the valley of Megiddo. Zechariah 12:11.
Zechariah 12:11 mentions that in the valley of Megiddo, there is a place called Hadad-rimmon, Hebrew. Hadad-rimmon. Hadad-rimmon is often thought to be the same as Rumana, about 7 kilometers southeast of Megiddo. Some connect this mourning to ritualistic mourning ceremonies, such as those for the false god Tammuz, Ezekiel 8:14, and consider Hadad-rimmon to be a compound name for a deity. However, this seems unlikely, especially because Zechariah's words are part of the prophecy about the Messiah. It's improbable that mourning for false gods would be used as a prophetic illustration. Thus, mourning for a faithful king of Judah is a suitable representation, John 19:37, Revelation 1-7 with Zechariah 12:10-14. In apocalyptic prophecy, Armageddon is referred to as the place of assembly on the day of Almighty God, only used in Revelation 16:16, not found elsewhere. If the mention of Armageddon is merely a symbolic name, its geographical accuracy is not crucial. The place called Megiddo is a term that doesn't truly match with mountain, hill, har, because Megiddo is a plain rather than a mountain. The battles at Megiddo, as referenced in 2 Chronicles 35-22, have witnessed significant conflict since 1468 BC by Thutmose III, up to General Allenby's battle in 1917. The mountain of Israel became the witness to the defeat of Gog. Ezekiel 39:1-4. This might be what was in the mind of the Apostle John when describing the apocalyptic end-time battle in the book of Revelation. However, the attribution of mountain to Megiddo suggests that it symbolizes something. So, if the Apostle John wrote Mount Megiddo, it doesn't exist literally. Instead, Mount Megiddo is understood in a spiritual and metaphorical sense. We cannot directly point to Mount Megiddo in a specific country. Churches following the dispensational premillennialism doctrine often interpret the final battle contextually as possibly Israel versus communist states, possibly Israel versus Palestine and Syria, and possibly America and Israel versus Russia and China. Therefore, the literal context of the end times concerning Mount Megiddo cannot be taken as literal for a specific location. The only part that can be taken literally is the Antichrist. It's not a symbol.
Little children, it is the last time, and as ye have heard that Antichrist shall come, even now are there many Antichrists, whereby we know that it is the last time. 1 John 2:18.
The Antichrist is not a demon, but the most wicked human, who will be used by the devil to deceive humanity. The word Antichrist, Greek, Antichristos, consists of the preposition anti, meaning against, oppose, and the word Christos, meaning Christ, the Anointed One, Messiah. In Syro-Aramaic, daggala, or its full form al-Mashiach Dajjal, comes from daggala, which means false Messiah or anti-Messiah. It is from this Syriac influence that the term Dajjal emerged in Islamic Arabic. The first teachings of the term Dajjal were likely from Christians, not Muslims. As stated in 1 John 2:18, many antichrists have come, which implies that Islam and its teachings are considered antichrist. This is because they promote a false Christ and false doctrines that reject the divinity of Jesus Christ. The teachings of Islam are indeed against the divinity of Jesus Christ, the crucifixion of Jesus, the recognition of the Holy Trinity, and all of these aspects fall under the meaning of many antichrists as mentioned earlier. The Apostle Paul did not use the term antichrist, but in 2 Thessalonians 2:3 and the following verses, he speaks of the man of sin ho anthropos tes hamartias, man of sin, which clearly refers to the same entity.
Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. 2 Thessalonians 2:3.
The distinctive feature of this being is that he opposes and exalts himself above all that is called or worshipped as God and declares himself as God. He is not a demon, but his arrival is the devil's endeavor. There are still difficulties in these verses that are not clear, especially regarding who the man of sin is. It is still debated, but for our purposes, his teachings are quite clear. Paul is thinking of the most powerful effort of the devil, not in the past, but in the future. He is not thinking of a world that gradually becomes perfect, but a world in which evil continues to increase until the end times. Then evil will launch its most formidable resistance against righteousness. This opposition will be led by a strange being, whose power comes from the devil, who is the instrument of the devil in his ultimate rebellion against God. Paul believes in what will happen. Christ will slay the rebel with the breath of his mouth. The fierce and final opposition of the devil will be completely eradicated. This is at least the meaning of some of the images in the book of Revelation. Almost all scholars who interpret this book agree that some of the visions in Revelation point to the final struggle of evil forces against Christ. Sometimes the symbolism is explicitly directed at the devil. The great fiery red dragon is even equated with the devil.
And there appeared another wonder in heaven. And behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his heads. Revelation 12:3.
But the beast in Revelation 11:7 is not the devil, although it has a close connection with the devil as shown by its actions.
And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascendeth out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them, and shall overcome them, and kill them. Revelation 11:7.
Similar beings emerge at the beginning. There is no intention to equate any of these beings with the Antichrist, but only to explain that the book of Revelation also acknowledges the existence of beings in the end times who are empowered by the devil to oppose Christ. This can be considered a distinctive feature of the Christian view of the end days.